Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Wednesday, May 22nd, and we are roughly 4 weeks out from Big Brother 21. And the burning question that is people are asking at this point, or pondering, is this going to be an all-star season? Happens every year, or it has for the last few years. However, I'm saying the odds are higher this year. Of course, they're going to be higher every single year, in my opinion, because it's just been that much longer since they had it. Our only other all-star season was Big Brother 7, and we're now at 21. I'm thinking it's very possible. I'm kind of a little bit worried because last year was pretty darn successful, in my opinion, and it was an all-new cast. And they finally went all-new cast, and it was a really good season, really enjoyable, and now we're looking at very likely possibly bringing back a bunch of alumni. They just had 6 alumni, or they have 6 alumni on The Amazing Race, so they're getting, some traction there as far as some attention. The Big Brother group is actually doing, the three pairs are actually doing well. None have been eliminated yet. So over the next month, if they keep doing well, it could be a way to almost promote Big Brother. But of course, that's promoting it within the same community as, most people that are fans of Amazing Race. Well, I shouldn't say that. There are lots of Amazing Race fans that don't give a damn about Big Brother, but I don't know. I'm not sure if that's a reason to do an all-star, but it is. And besides, it's promoting Big Brother, whether it's an all-star cast or a regular cast. They just are former Big Brother cast members. Anyways, I posed a question a couple of days ago on my Twitter account asking. I turned off my DMs. I turned off my lockdown DMs so that anybody that wants to, and it's still the case right now, maybe I'll turn it off tonight. I'm not sure, or it depends. I haven't been hammered with a billion DMs, so I'm not as worried about it. But anyone that wants to can DM me and tell me what their experience was if they'd applied to be on Big Brother this year. Because some people would not want it. The Robin Cass sent out a message last week saying that all the finalists have been notified. In other words, if you haven't heard from us yet, you ain't hearing from us. Thanks for applying. Now, it's not quite accurate. There's 1 or 2 bartenders out there probably that or rickshaw drivers that have not applied yet that will be asked to be on, assuming that it's not an all-star cast. Of course, I don't know if any of them are back to being rickshaw drivers now, but what's his name was, did that, and he was cast, shortly before. The point is that there are often late-minute castings. It's just those people didn't apply; they were told to apply. So the people that would get those slots don't even know that they have a chance yet. But if it is an all-star, none of that matters. They're not doing it. So I asked if there was anybody who didn't make finals or, didn't get called back by Robin Cass, so they know they're not going to be on this season. Because, obviously, if they're doing an all-star, there's not a whole lot of need to spend the money flying people out to California, because that's what they do, and going through rounds and doing all of this kind of stuff to kind of eliminate the potentials down. If they already know, well, we're doing an all-star, so we don't need to spend all our money and time on that. Let's save some bucks and let's go this route. And my whole point was do it in DM so that I'm not going to reveal who you are. And, of course, the thing is that there's a trust factor here that somebody could totally BS me and make it up and say whatever they wanted to say, and I'm going to have no proof or recourse. But I am taking the people that contacted me at their word, and I don't think there's any big motivation for people to make this stuff up because I'm not some huge news outlet that's reporting something and it's going to be like, oh my God, that's what Mike said, so that's the truth. No, this is just one data point. And the people that contacted me, fairly believable as far as what they had to say. Sorry, of course, as usual, I'm driving and I need to stop talking so I can concentrate on my driving when I'm to avoid accidents. All right. So I did hear from a couple people. One person relayed that they made finals last year and this year to some certain level. A level that did involve, sounded to me like a trip out to California to go through some of the stuff that we've heard other current people that actually made Big Brother talk about the process of going through these castings and stuff. And this person said they made it last year and they made it this year. I don't know. They probably made it other years before too. Those are the two that was talked about because it was a comparison. And what they commented on was that last year, the final period, at least in their experience, was a couple of weeks of time. It covered over a couple of weeks. And this year, it was only a week. Now, the implication was that it wasn't 2 weeks and they only made 1 week. It was that, no, this year they're only doing 1 week. And there's also this sense by this person that things were just not... It just didn't seem like maybe production cared that much, like they were that worried about it, because, hey, maybe, the implication is maybe they're already going a different route and they're just kind of going through the motions of, we're going to, let's say we're making brownies. Sure, we're going to make brownies. They've got store-bought brownies on the back shelf, but they're not going to tell you that. So they're going through the motions of pretending to make brownies, and they put the eggs and they put the flour and they put it all in a bowl and they kind of stir it, but they know they're never going to cook it, so they don't stir it as hard because it really doesn't matter because it's getting dumped out in the back and they're going to bring out the new brownies. So that's a decent analogy. That's kind of the feeling that maybe this person was getting, is that they really weren't putting in that big of an effort because maybe they knew that they weren't going to be using these people. And my theory on that would be maybe they're going through the motions with these people because they want to keep them interested, because next year, if there is an All-Star this year, next year they're going to need, they're going to want some of those people to come back. So, that's my thought. And that person's, story, along with the lack of anybody else contacting me saying, yes, I made finals, or yes, I applied, or, I thought I would get a little bit more. Well, on the one hand, I thought I might get absolutely no responses, but the limited number of responses that I got made me wonder if maybe there weren't that many people actively involved in the casting process this year, and so they weren't even thinking about it. But again, we'll know within about 2 to 3 weeks if it's an all-star season, if not less. And maybe it is, and I'm okay with that if it's as long as it's not a mix. But I'm a bit twitchy, because an all-star season will have a completely different feel to it than a regular season. All of these people will have played the game before. They will be very camera aware. They know now that everything they do is caught on camera, and they will use that. They will be talking to each other before, or have already talked to each other before. This is a family at this point. The Big Brother, just like the Survivor, just like anybody in these reality shows, these people are family in certain ways. They talk to each other, they communicate, and so, all the people that are potentially going to be on the show, or at least some of them have been talking to each other, and there will be alliances formed. There will be plans made. There were plans made before Big Brother 7. It was known. Now I'm starting to get a little bit foggy on all this because it's been 14 years. But back in the day, I actually was, I'm not going to say real friends, but I was, online friends with a former house guest that was on All Stars that we had, I don't remember how many. We had a few phone calls. And so, we had some communication before All Stars started, and that there was no communication to me that All Stars was happening. Put it that way. I was not told that All Stars was happening. But what I'm saying is I had some communication, and my understanding after the fact, what we heard about things were that there was definitely alliances going on. That going into the house, certain house members had said, we're going to work together. And they did. So, I would anticipate that the same kind of thing will go on if this season is an all-star, that there will be planning and communications between house guests. So what we see when they walk in the door, we won't know a lot of what already has happened. Plus, there's already going to be stuff that goes on when the feeds are down. But more so, these people will know each other. So that's just something to keep in mind. But that's enough talk of that. Anybody else who, if you're listening to this now, I kind of doubt it, but if you happen to have made it to the process this year, and you have any feedback about how this year compared to previous years, if you have years experience with other years, I'd be curious to hear your take on it. You can DM me on my Twitter account, BBGOSSIP. I'm not going to reveal names. I'm not going to reveal, whatever. I'm curious. I'm not necessarily going to share what anybody else has to tell me, but I am kind of curious, and I don't know if any of this will make it to our podcast, because obviously by the time our podcast is on, we will know what's going on. The first episode is supposed to air on the 25th, and it's going to be on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, at least for the first 3 weeks or whatever into July, and then it'll switch back to Wednesdays and Thursdays, which is the normal schedule. I'm not sure why that is, but that's fine, whatever. It should be, yep, I'm driving again, so, of course I've been driving the whole time, but I'm at an intersection, and there, okay. Anyways, I'm not sure why they've changed the schedule to Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday for the first few weeks, but whatever. What it does mean is that, or Tuesday, Wednesday. What it means is that the feeds in theory will start on a Wednesday night instead of a Thursday night, which also means that I'm probably going to take off a Thursday instead of a Friday, because I'll be up all night. And it'll give us an extra day to process, get some more material for our show on Saturday, because our first show, or our second show on Saturday. Our first show will be the week before, after the cast is announced. We'll talk about the cast. So, June 22nd, I think, is going to be our first podcast. All right, so that's that. That's my Big Brother talk. I did have a correction to make on my last podcast. I think I mentioned Paradise Hotel and the fact that it was a lot like the UK show. And actually, I was confused, which is not hard to do. But Love Island is the show that I was thinking of, that I was comparing Paradise Hotel to, but they're both the same theory. And Love Island is the CBS show that is coming this year that hasn't aired yet. But it's a very, very similar format to Paradise Hotel. I can't even tell you what differences there are between the two. It's all about coupling up and, teaming up and love and blah, blah, blah. And it's so But Paradise Hotel is the Fox version of Love Island, or Love Island is the CBS version of Paradise Hotel. However you want to look at it, both of them, I believe, existed. I think Love Island was back, 10 years ago or more, but I'm not 100% sure. But Paradise Hotel was, because I did watch that when it originally aired. supposed to be a never-ending show. It was always just going to be people coming and going. But now the thought is that you get to a certain point and the winning couple wins a chunk of money. I think that's the same premise on Love Island. So, a little bit of a correction there. Wanted to mention it. I haven't watched another episode of Paradise Hotel since I watched the premiere. Not sure I'm going to at this point. I don't really feel like investing in it, especially since I'm going to be doing Big Brother all summer. And if there's a chance that we talk about Love Island at all, and I'm not sure about that. I think Scott and Colette will be covering that more than our podcast will. I don't think ours will at all, actually. I think we're just going to talk about Big Brother. That's plenty to talk about. With that, I am going to sign off. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Do not anticipate doing another one of these, even though there will be a amazing race tonight, unless something really exciting and interesting happens. I'm probably not going to do a car cast, or if there's more news about Big Brother. So if there's more news about Big Brother before the weekend, I'll probably do another one of these and then also mention Amazing Race in the process. But at this point, I don't anticipate that happening. All right. You guys have a good Wednesday. By the way, side note, you know the Hump Day? It's Hump Day, the Geico commercial. And the camel says, Mike. And my name is Mike, so I get those references, just like I get the Mikey cereal reference for a whole other generation of people. But did you realize that the character Mike doesn't say anything? He just rolls his eyes. Somebody else says it's Hump Day, or it's Wednesday, or it's Hump Day, whatever. It ain't Mike. Mike is silent. So when people say Mike, that's if I'm playing the character, I don't answer them. I just kind of roll my eyes. Just a useless piece of information that other Mikes can probably relate to. And with that, I bid you adieu. Goodbye. Take care. See ya. Adios.